Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In this episode, we're lucky to have special guest David, who's the CEO and founder of Game Tester, the platform that brings together gamers and developers to improve the gaming world, I guess, David. So thanks for coming on.
No, you're welcome. It's good to be here.
Thanks, mate. So do you want to first talk about the game testing website, how long you've been doing all this and how you got into blockchain?
So we started with Game Tester about 2 years ago, a bit over. Went through about 12 months of development of the platform. So middle of last year, we kicked off in terms of marketing and bringing on the first batch of testers to start working with the platform with live users, actually doing real tests for real games companies. It was something I'd seen, so I've got a background in game development and publishing, and I'd sort of seen a real problem, not in terms of testing for bugs. You know, that's really a situation where you might have 10, some examples might be 100 people sitting there at computers in an office testing. And there's companies that do that and they do it really well. But what we found was that you can make a game bug-free, doesn't mean the game's any good. Right? So what we started looking at was that by bringing a much larger group of gamers into the game, linked with the tools we created in Game Tester to track the behaviour, what they were doing inside the game, and then add in questionnaires and things to the testers, that we can start getting a gauge of, you know, how likely is it going to be shared, how long will people play the game for, is it challenging enough? You know, there's a whole lot of things as a game developer that we're really pushed to try and get. It's like this fine balance so that when a game gets it just right, you think of the examples of a Minecraft, you know, some of Supercell's games and things, that the potential for growth is just beyond imagining. You know, it's just suddenly it can go from zero to $1 billion company overnight for a games company that can really hit it out of the ballpark. And so much of what makes a game just right is very, very minor differences. Right? So you can look at a lot of games that are out there that do pretty well, and they might make $40 million, and something else that does incredibly well and makes billions. And you sort of go, they seem like much the same game, but what's that? You know, what made one make $1 billion and one possibly not make any money? And, you know, I suppose there's things that the games company can do in-house as far as their graphics and decide if that's any good, but it's that little timer of how long something takes. It's the little fork in the road that Game Tester's tools can track which direction a gamer takes. And so if you can imagine you get 10,000 gamers to go into a game on a weekend, we start being able to test, oh, look, 9,000 of them took the left fork in the road, or they chose a certain vehicle, or they like swords more than axes. You know, it can be really little things, but it allows the developer to then focus their resources, which are invariably limited, you know, it's to developing the stuff that people are going for.
So you're really trying to pull out the data and the demographics of who's doing what to improve that overall gaming experience for the players. But how long have you been doing this for? I believe you've already got 1,500 gamers. There's plans to expand globally. Do you want to talk about how you're using blockchain to improve your business model and where you're going moving forward?
Yeah, so it's 15,000 users on currently, and you know, part of that was testing for the platform. What's the cost of acquisition of bringing on more gamers onto the platform? That we found it to be, you know, extremely viable as far as the message of come and earn crypto coins, you know, by testing games is extremely attractive.
Yeah.
You know, no great surprise, I'm sure, to your viewers on that. So it's really about, as we grow forward, crypto sort of enables the whole platform to to do a lot more. So the original concept was not necessarily to use crypto. It was to sort of pay people a token of sorts, as like a game tested gold and things. And crypto blockchain sort of allows us to do things like make that more secure. It allows someone to get a payout in terms of they might test a couple of games, they've earned a couple of dollars worth of token, that when that token is a crypto coin, they can go trade that for something else. So a lot of people on the platform will use the coins and they'll supplement by purchasing more coins to then buy games in the store, to buy hardware in the store. And so it's sort of like a building up of frequent flyer points in a sense. But the rewards are tailored to gamers. So part of the research in the early days was, around the frequent flyers. And, as we started interviewing, we're finding a lot of people, and I'm not talking just teenagers, but, it would be a 28-year-old accountant that you would think would be a member of a frequent flyer program, but they said, oh no, they were like, frequent flyer programs, you can get a kettle, you can get golf memberships, you can get wine, but I want to get a $350 microphone that I can broadcast on Twitch with, right? So there's this immense market in the hundreds of millions of gamers that we can appeal to that aren't being serviced in that way now. Just further on the crypto coin, the biggest thing for us when it comes to the game developers is the legitimacy of the testers, right? So avoiding any risk that we've got, someone sitting at home who's got 100 accounts and they're doing lots of testing to try and make $1 off each test, and I made $100. That's not giving any legitimate data to the games company. So whilst there are other mechanisms around IP addresses and things and tracking that, having an account set up to trade in crypto on the platform gives this much greater level of security to us that each user of the platform is a real person and an individual. And so it gives us a lot better user base as far as the game developer goes, and allows the game developer to pay us more, which passes through to the tester.
Yeah. So it's going to be a currency for your entire platform and website, for hardware as well as in-game software. I know in the pre-interview you mentioned it allows you to test games up just until certain levels, rather than, once someone has a game now, maybe they have it for good. That blockchain really allows you to do a lot of specific things and pull more data out, and it's all on the blockchain as well. So you're having your ICO soon. You're hoping to raise quite a large amount. I might get you to touch on that. But as I said in just before, you're really hoping to expand that tester base tenfold or more and really become a big global company, because we know the gaming industry is fast growing. It's very big, and there's plenty of gamers out there, and game testing and ironing out these bugs to make it a better experience is very valuable for everyone in the industry.
Yeah, it's an interesting sort of network effect where the more testers that are on the platform, the more people that are using it, then the more developers want to get involved and games want to be on the platform. So there's a lot of benefit to getting that rapid growth and being global with it. As it stands now, we have team in Australia, team in South Africa, and one person on the ground in the US currently, and one in Europe.
Yep.
With a few others on standby in different parts of the world to sort of come on board in Asia, etc. So, we've put ourselves in the position where the benefit of doing an ICO and a pre-sale to raise the funds, we're able to expand that very quickly. And I suppose a key thing of what we're doing here is that people are able to get in at the pre-ICO stage at a fixed $1 a coin. As we apply those funds, we're anticipating we can grow those users on the platform into the 1 million, 2 million plus quite quickly. we certainly know from, you know, the testing and the advertising that we can get that kind of growth. So it's about, by the time we get to March when the ICO is planned, that the value of that coin has significantly gone up, because it's gone from, you know, having a couple of offices in Australia, South Africa, to a global presence with multiple offices. Obviously the team expanded, possibly, you know, into the 100 plus in that time, and it's fairly, you know, rapid growth, but I've had quite a bit of experience in growing our teams, and, you know, with where we are now and the people we have on board, we're confident we can grow that.
Well, we'll finalise the details, because I know you're still in that pre-ICO stage, as you said, and once you use those funds, you're confident you'll be able to deliver return on investment already before you even get to that actual ICO stage in a few months. So I'll put details in the description of this video for those that want to get involved in the pre-ICO, but it's exciting stuff, mate. You've been doing this for a few years. Is there anything, any closing comments you want to end with about where you'd love to see this all go in the future, in the coming years?
Yeah, look, what excites us most is about building a platform around, you know, a concurrent currency that allows the gamers themselves to get better pricing on gaming hardware, to get access to games, or through the testing get early access to games and be able to actually give their feedback and help grow it. You know, there'll be opportunities to do the crowdfunding on the platform as far as contributing coins to support game development. So a lot of it's sort of really focused around a business model where it's delivering value for the testers, the coin holders, as well as the developers and hardware suppliers, you name it. And that, you know, flows on to running events around the world and things that people can meet and travel and, yeah.
Cool.
Well,
All right.
appreciate your time.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks for coming on, mate. As I said, I'll put the details down below for those that want to get involved, but it sounds like if you use these pre-ICO funds wisely, it could already be expanding globally by the time we even get to the public ICO sale in the future. So I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure my viewers and those that want to invest appreciate you giving us this opportunity to participate in the pre-sale as well. And as you guys know, I'm all for supporting quality Australian businesses that are looking to get involved in this ever-developing blockchain technology. So thanks for coming on today, David.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers.